relevant. I think it's very good that they restricted it to convert to mana cost 3 or less, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's quite wise. I think.
Yes.
And I don't know. We have to see. I mean, it's just spiking up and being played in modern overall, and now finding its way into legacy standard, obviously everywhere. I think.
Yeah.
I haven't been playing a lot of standard at all.
It's one of these cards. When I first looked at it, it was like a green-blue 3-mana planeswalker, and I was
Love
like,
it.
no, it does nothing. Wow, it does absolutely nothing. And then you play against it, and you're like, damn.
It's really good.
Yeah, it takes up to 6 immediately.
Yeah.
That's like the main
That's so
thing.
high.
It's so high.
I think the same could be true for Royal Sign, actually. I think this might find its way also into some, probably not into Legacy, but into Modern maybe.
It could be cute with like Dreadhorde Arcanist. Or...
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right, we have a match on our hand. Jerome is playing UR Delver against
Henning Beywl with a Karn Fit. So again, a Nick Fit deck probably, with a Nick Fit engine, mana engine, and then just Karn Great Creators, I assume, because you have a lot of mana, so you can cast Lattice of Karn. So why wouldn't you want to cast Lattice of Karn?
Yes, that will be my guess as well. The question is, what colors is he playing? Obviously, green and black.
Black you have to, and then the question is, does he have a third one?
Yeah, might be blue for Brainstorms and
Yeah.
Planeswalkers.
Yeah, that's the usual
Could be
one.
white as well for Toolbox with Academy Rector, for example.
Yeah. Or just other value cards,
So
and especially cyber cards.
Blue-Red Delver is like almost an old deck at this point.
Yeah.
It obviously peaked around the Treasure Cruise phase, but
yeah, well, everyone played. Yeah, you shouldn't have played anything else then. Yeah.
No. So Blue-Red Delver is like the purest tempo Delver deck there is. He plays a lot of bolts. I think 8 or even 9.
No, I think usually you're at like, it depends on how all-inish you are, but I think like 7 bolts is like 3 chain lightning usually for lightning bolt, and then maybe some braids or forked bolts to get some flexibility in.
We will see when we get the deck list. And he's opening with the best play of his deck, the first turn Delver.
Yep.
And one of the strengths of UR Delver is that you get to play basic lands.
Yes.
Usually Delvers have 0 or maybe 1.
Yeah, depending on the lists. Yeah, but the 3 color ones are certainly almost always only on duels. And this gives you the possibility to either play Blood Moon, but this is more for the controllers versions. The Delvers usually play Price of Progress as well, like 1 or 2 copies main and then in the sideboard.
Which is a very good finisher in many matchups, and Nick Fit is no exception.
Well, they have a lot of basics though, but I agree, they don't have wastelands as well to waste themselves and stuff.
They do, but they also kind of rely on their non-basics, and they run quite a few as well.
Yes.
True. So they do play duels, like sometimes Red Stronghold, Caracas, utility lands.
Yes, very true, and they cannot get rid of them.
Price, even for 4 damage, is still good value.
True, for 2 mana instant.
Chat asks, how many players are there? 109 players registered for this tournament, and we're playing 7 rounds. We're currently in round 4. Cabal Therapy, obviously naming Brainstorm, usually the card you want to name for
the wise choice.
Obvious reasons, because if you don't name Brainstorm, he gets to Brainstorm in response to the second Cabal Therapy. And also Brainstorm, the best card in the format.
Yes.
55% of decks play Brainstorm in Legacy, which is, it's the most...
It's the reason to be blue, right?
It's the main reason to be blue, yes.
Definitely.
And it's quite good in this situation as well, because Jerome is not having a second colored land, so he doesn't get to cast Dreadhorde Arcanist in his next turn. And without the Brainstorm, he's basically stuck to top deck mode. All he has is a Spell Pierce and a Wasteland, which is still good, especially if Delver flips.
Didn't flip.
Which it didn't.
It was probably the worst draw in his deck.
Yes. Basic Island, not what you want at this point.
Right, just getting in for 1.
Yes, and with the Spell Pierce open, wasting the Bayou does make a lot of sense.
Indeed.
Spell Pierce is actually very important in this matchup, because you get to counter Green Sun Zenith, you get to counter Planeswalkers.
Pernicious Deed.
Pernicious Deed in the later stages of the game, yes. But as the UR Delver deck, I think you want to delay the Nick Fit player as much as possible, so you want to deny the Veteran Explorer.
Yes.
So countering the Green Sansini, that one is definitely your play.
A valuable option, yes.
By the way, because he's running Wasteland, he might not be running Price of Progress.
I agree, yes. He might have block into the sideboard then, or because usually it's not a good interaction to have Price on Wasteland because you kill their non-basics and then you want to do them damage for non-basics, so it doesn't really make sense. Yeah, that's that. Flipping the Delver off a days. Beautiful.
Yeah. And flipping days is not ideal in the sense that your opponent knows that you have days and can possibly try to play around it.
Mm-hmm.
But if that ever happened to you, it's also quite a big psychological impact because you know he has the days. Like
you have,
it's
yeah,
like
you have to play around.
Yeah,
right?
you have to, and especially in a matchup like this without the Veteran Explorer, you will be forced to play into it, and you know it's going to counter something.
Yeah. You know it's a real card, and that's usually what people say, or why people also say base can be bad or is bad. That if you play around it an entire game, the best thing you can do is brainstorm it away, or just pitch it to a force of will, maybe.
Yeah.
But sometimes you just don't have the possibility to play around it.
Yeah, and especially with a mana-intensive deck like Karn Fit, if you don't have that Veteran Explorer that went to the graveyard, it's impossible to play around it.
Yeah.
For a very long time, and because he's up against the first turn Delver, there's just no way he does have the time to play around it.
Yes. Fully agree. And it also hurts to have a Dryad Arbor there. Could die to just a bolt. Oh.
Yeah, very risky, but I think if Henning knew that he was up against Delver, he would not have kept his hand without the Veteran Explorer because his mana base was very weak, especially against something like Wasteland.
Sure. And now Dreadhorde Echinists. If he gets to untap with it, game's close to over, I would say, because he gets to flashback brainstorms and bolts. And does he have a lightning bolt? I think so.
He has a chain lightning. Yes.
Chain lightning, is it? Okay. So yeah, he gets to kill the Dryad Arbor next turn. He gets to brainstorm for free.
I think it's just lethal next turn, right?
Oh yeah, he's on 9. Sorry, I didn't. 3,
Yeah.
6, yeah, 7. Yeah, sure. The Dreadhorde Arcanist doesn't even have to deal damage.
Henning is
okay.
Sort of playing around the Spell Pierce, but
oh, he's a Karn. Well, that doesn't help with Zenith. But he sacked his own land.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, his Dryad Arbor.
Because otherwise Zenith would get Spell Pierced, and he really needs that Veteran Explorer. Like.
But now he doesn't have a sack outlet, right?
No, he does not. But he can block the Dreadhorde Arcanist, which does give him 2 basic lands, and allows him to survive next turn.
No, I don't think so.
Oh no, he doesn't.
Chain lightning
Lightning
again,
to the face,
chain lightning.
Yeah, true.
But well, if he takes this right, of course. But we know more than Jerome does. And Jerome gets to find basics if he hasn't found all of them by now already. Force of negation, some safety there.
Yeah, that's rough.
And he does it. Chain lightning you.
And that's game 1.
Trigger chain lightning you. Do you even? I mean, he could block and then no, he couldn't. And then damage on the stack, but that doesn't work. Doesn't work. Beautiful. 1-0, very clean victory here for Jerome.
Yeah, just Delver things,
Just Delver things. You like Delver yourself? You have played it yourself?
I've played it a bunch, yeah. Yeah, sure.
It's a good card. It's not a good card.
Oh, you mean the card? I thought you were talking about the deck.
Oh, no, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, it's obviously one of the best creatures in the format. It's just so efficient.
Yeah. And it's just so terrible if it doesn't flip for 2 turns now.
It depends.
Yeah. But like the results of all the Delver decks show probably that it's just a good card and that the percentages that it doesn't flip and doesn't do anything are not that high.
It's quite slim with the amount of spells you have.
Yeah.
Usually it's around. It depends a lot on the list, of course, but it's usually around 30 to 35 spells that would flip Delver.
Yeah.
And even without that, you have Ponder and Brainstorm to set it up. So you get to flip it reliably on turn 3.
It's kind of the part that's missing in modern Beywl with Brainstorm and Ponder. Cantrips being just so much worse and not being able to put them really back on top, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes I ask myself if people just play Delver because the play style is so, how should I say, like so intriguing, or a lot of people like to play like kind of aggressive with disruption. It's a cool play style.
Yeah, it's a cool play style.
You don't have
It's quite
to
versatile. You don't need to completely lock down your opponent with, which can be an issue. Like for example, Miracle struggles a lot against Cavern or Eldrazi decks that eventually will get through your counter magic. Delver doesn't need that because you can just turn 1 Delver and then your disruption doesn't really control the opponent. It just slows him down and stops him from like going off or doing something really big. And meanwhile, just Delver nibbles at your life total.
Right. And 3 is a good rate to hit at per turn.
Yeah, especially if you just invested 1 mana.
Yep.
3 lightning bolt every turn. Pretty good.
Yep. Walking bolt in the end. Or flying bolt, I would say.
Flying bolt, yes.
I should say so.
That said, I think Nickfid is actually equipped to deal with Delver quite well, especially if it gets to resolve a Veteran Explorer.
Yeah. If you know, and yeah, if he has a good hand and knows his way well around the matchup, then I think he should be winning. As it just goes so much bigger.
But he just absolutely needs to resolve that Veteran Explorer. I think the matchup is very much depending on it. And when I play Delver, I usually just straight up force the Veteran Explorer.
Right. Yeah.
Because if you don't, your Daisies get basically dead. Spell Pierce gets a lot worse as well, and he gets to actually cast his big things. You know,
yeah,
like
and he gets the flashback.
You can't beat that in the long run. You just can't. So you have to delay his game plan as much as you can.
True. It's like, I mean, without Veteran Explorer, this deck wouldn't exist at all, I think. I mean, there would be some chunk lists maybe, but nothing similar to this.
Stream is lagging. How did Karn win? He was behind. What was the turnaround? The interlay is actually wrong. Delver won the first game.
Yeah, we're sorry, guys.
I'm sorry if it's lagging for you. It's running smoothly for us. But if you have any trouble, just try refreshing or open in a different browser or something.
Yeah, happy to get feedback. Always useful to improve things and just check on things. We cannot see everything always, but yeah, when we're working on maybe getting a clock on there as well, so that you guys can see the round time, which sometimes is quite a bit important. So
unfortunately, we don't have the deck lists yet. What do you think is coming out of the sideboards for either player?
Good question.
I think from your Delver perspective, you just want to be fast. So
I would maybe bring, if they're force of negation, I probably would bring them in.
Yes.
Like
to stop the planeswalkers.
Yes.
Or punish the steed.
Exactly, and
yeah, it's also a tempo card, right?
Exactly. You want to go ahead.
But you definitely don't want to overboard. Like,
no, maybe
if you're weakening your clock or your counter magic, you're disrupting your own game plan potentially more than you're disrupting him.
I agree. I mean, I know now, like, I know the name of the deck Karn fit, so I just said to myself, I probably would bring a Needle, but he doesn't. He most likely doesn't know that there's a Karn and a lot of Planeswalkers in the deck. Though, if I see Nick fit, Pernicious Deed does demand a bit to board in the Needle because you can turn it off, or to turn it off. And what else could there be? Like Blood Moon is not. If he has Blood Moons, I wouldn't bring. I'm not sure, but I think I wouldn't bring them in. Would you?
No, it's not worth it. I don't think.
Yeah.
It's very slow, and again, you're tapping out turn 3, and it does nothing in your hand up to this point. It might get discarded.
Right.
If it bothers him, and if he has a Veteran Explorer, it won't bother him
at all.
At all.
Yeah.
And you're turning off your fetch lands, which greatly weakens your cantrips.
Yes. Yes, very true. Yeah.
And 3 mana is actually a lot for your Delver.
True.
You want to hover around 1 or 2 at most.
Very true.
Maybe 3 for a 2-name Nemesis.
Yeah, I wonder if he plays them. What do you think
I
for
saw one.
Dreadhorde? You saw it. For Dreadhorde, for Delver 2 to 3 true name. No young pyromancers at all.
Yeah, maybe some Brazen Burrowers as well.
Yeah, awesome card,
Yeah,
probably.
possibility.
What do you think
Maybe
about that card?
Click in the sideboard, actually.
Yeah, best threat against combo, I'd say.
Yeah. And Karn fit, I think he might just have boarded like more DKs, more cards
removable.
to slow down the game.
Yeah.
DK is great because it, Delver can't really interact with it.
He's playing the not academy rector,
The other
but
rector, the
planeswalker rector. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, that's why it can't fit. Sorry,
So
I saw it before.
we
I
don't
didn't
know the name
realize
of
it.
the card, but what it does is it's a 4-mana human, a white creature, and if it dies, you may exile it. And if you exile it, you get to search your library and put a planeswalker on the battlefield. Any planeswalker, no restrictions. So you could go for
So maybe
big,
it's actually the 7-mana Karn and not even Karnic
yeah, it could
Recreator.
be 7-mana Karn, it could be Nicol Bolas.
Could be Ugin. Ugin is probably a good choice.
Ugin is a very good choice in this matchup, yes.
Just such
Tons
a
of
powerful
options.
card.
Tons of options.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. I like both versions, the Planeswalker and the enchantment.
Yeah. You think it's a viable strategy? Is it not too cute? It's a lot of fun to play for sure, but
The issue with the deck again is that it very much depends on Veteran Explorer to be like to operate at its full potential. Because without it, you're just a very, very, very slow deck, and that just won't do in Legacy.
Yeah, and you face people or opponents like playing Storm or Black Red Reanimator and such things.
Or just against Delver, without the Explorer, you're just so darn slow. So I personally, when I play Veteran Explorer, I try to squeeze in blue for brainstorms, actually.
I did play Buckfit for a while as well with Birthing Pod and stuff. Oh, it's so amazing! It's so beautiful.
That's
Such a beautiful deck.
That's beautiful. I don't think it's top tier because it has obviously many weaknesses. Some decks don't care about the board state, and you're mostly impacting the board state, and you don't have much disruption in terms of you just play some discard, but that's pretty much it.
Yeah, you can have forces in the sideboard sometimes or fluster storms. But I like in the bug version, I actually really like Baleful Strixus. Like you play the full 4 Baleful Strixus usually, which is just an absurdly good card in fair matchups.
Yeah. And in the unfair matchups, you can still, it cantrips and or sack it to Cabal Therapy.
Exactly, yeah.
It's cool.
Oh, Whale of Summer, we said. Card of the
summer.
I don't know, of the year, of the month. Like everyone is playing.
Everyone is playing it. It's ridiculous.
The uncommon.
Is that a Carpet of Flowers as well?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Carpet of Flowers is very strong in this matchup.
What does it do? You know it?
Yes, I know it. It's a 1-mana green enchantment, and it has a triggered ability. And you can choose to let it resolve in the first or in the second main phase. It's just in one main phase per turn.
Okay.
And the ability creates 1 mana of any color for each island your opponent controls.
So your opponent has to play islands in order for this to work.
Yes. Okay. Which is why it is a sideboard card.
So you can imagine against Miracles or something, this should be a really good card.
This is a really good card, yes. And in this matchup as well, because now Veteran Explorer dies, and he's likely going to get like...
an island.
Yeah, or maybe even 2.
There was only 1 fetch, I think. After the Veteran Explorer dies, you mean, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Veteran Explorer trigger is on the stack. Is there a Stifle? No, just the Swipers. Okay.
No, he just cast Cabal Therapy, I think. Now he's... Or are they?
Yeah, they're both getting lands. And he's likely getting a mountain and an island, which means that Carpet of Flowers will produce 2 mana immediately.
In his second main phase, right?
Exactly. Yeah. He can already use it in his second main phase. So it's a overpowered Soul Ring, in a sense.
Yes. It's quite a bit better in the Soul Ring in that spot, actually.
Yeah. And this is already turned to a board state where Blood Moon does absolutely nothing.
Indeed.
And
if he plays it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and price doesn't seem too good as well. Or either.
Yeah, it's not great.
See if he has something to play then off his Carpet of Flowers, if he chooses to play so. Oh yeah, he has the recruiter, right?
Yeah.
But he doesn't have the therapy anymore for it, or to sack it. Got a reader.
Yeah, man.
And you get to choose for each mana the color, or you choose a color?
No, you choose a color.
Okay, and then every mana is from the color.
Yes, exactly.
Zip.
He's,
Playing in today's.
Yeah, I think it's quite unlikely that he has days at this point.
That's true. Does he want to bolt?
No, you really don't want to bolt that guy. You really don't want to bolt that guy. Yeah.
I would love to hear what they're talking.
Yeah. I think Bloodsun could actually be good in this matchup because it shuts down Phyrexian Tower and Stronghold.
Yeah.
Phyrexian Tower is an uncounterable sacrifice outlet for the Rector.
Yeah, very much so.
And this is a very tough spot for UR Delver as well. Other Delver lists or other decks have like ways of dealing with a creature so it doesn't die, like Swords to Plowshares or Bounce It, things like that. But this guy is just, he's there. He's eventually going to die.
Yep.
And if he dies, bad things are happening.
Yes.
True Name Nemesis is really good against it though, because he can attack with it and Rector can't block it, obviously.
Yeah. So
and True Name Nemesis also puts pressure on Planeswalker.
Yeah, but I agree. But once the triggered ability resolves, I don't think the True Name will be on the board anymore. Like there's certainly some big Planeswalker.
Yeah, if it gets like Ugin,
it's probably over.
It's probably over, yes.
Unless he draws like Ugin and Nicol Bolas and something, and then it would be unfortunate.
That's another issue of playing a deck like this without Brainstorm.
Yes.
But at this point, he can. No, he can't hardcast. He's 1 mana short of hardcasting Karn though. Big Karn.
Yeah.
And now he's not. Now he could hardcast Bolas, he could hardcast Ugin, whatever he wants.
There is a Spell Pierce lurking in the hand,
which
he knows about. Well, that's actually a fine draw probably. Second True Name coming down.
I think he didn't play the carpet because it doesn't really matter how many of them he has.
And he can still play during his main phase and then just loses 1 mana basically. Yeah.
He's excited. What is it? In for a damage. Phyrexian Tower, come on, Phyrexian Tower. Yeah, there we go. There's the tower. So Phyrexian Tower is a legendary land that produces a black mana, or you can sacrifice a creature to produce 2 black mana. Which means we will likely see an Ugin.
I wonder what we see. There was Karn, a great creator. There is an Ugin, a Spirit Dragon.
I think Karn is not good enough at this point.
No, Karn is not good enough.
Baby Karn.
Maybe there's something bigger. He has Dreadhorde Arcanist, Liliana.
Oh, that's amazing as well. Let's see if we can get a closer look.
Let's try to swap around. And the big thing is Ugin, I think.
If he has it. Yeah,
I saw it before.
It does die to Lightning Bolt though, right? If your minus is 3, then it gets to 3.
Yeah, what does it start at 5, I think? Does it?
Or at
No, it's exactly 7.
Oh,
so
that's
you
so
minus
good.
for 3. Survives the bolt. And then starts upticking.
Yeah.
Pretty good card.
Yeah.
Pretty good card.
And he's likely running only 2 True Name Nemesis as well, right?
Yeah. That's for sure.
Yeah, this seems pretty much over. That was the perfect draw. Cabal Therapy would have done the job as well, but...
Yes, or as we were talking before, Diabolic Intent, but most lists are not playing it anymore. Or are not playing it at all.
Yeah, it's quite shaky.
Is it? Sorry, what?
It's quite a shaky card.
Yeah.
It's amazing if it is amazing, but if it's not, it's just...
You don't want to really sack your creature and then get it countered or something. And then,
if you don't have a creature, it does nothing.
Alright, let's go back to the center, I think. Zip. Beautiful. Oh, he's reading again. Well, it's a good card, I'm going to say it again. Yeah. he's probably gonna lose to that.
If he runs Snapcasters, he still might be like able to bolt Snapcaster bolt, something like this.
He's okay. We are in his main phase, and he is pondering. We didn't see that because we switched the mode. Yeah. What else are you looking for? Oh, how's it called? The new 5 damage planeswalker.
Magmatic Sinkhole.
would be an option here.
Yeah, 5 damage to the Ugin would certainly put him back into this game.
Yeah.
And this
why does not.
Why is he playing that?
I don't know.
I don't understand. So the upticking for Ugin is 3 damage to any target, which means Delver is just going to die.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and conserving 3 life at this point is meaningless. So I don't understand the Delver. It's better left in hand to be used as a pitch card, or if you have 2 of them.
Yeah, once you can handle the Ugin. I mean, Needle would be a draw, I don't know. I really like Needle, the card, and I think not enough people are playing. I think it's just such a versatile card.
Yeah, but it's kind of, I mean, if you Needle one Planeswalker, he's just getting another one. And here, if he had named Ugin, he's still quite far behind.
Yeah,
he's
sure.
in the game, yeah, but he's still quite far behind.
Yeah, and there's a replicate. Yeah, I agree. But I mean, this wouldn't also be the first matchup I think about by putting Needle or putting a Needle from my sideboard. But I just think in general that Needle is maybe a bit underplayed. I really like the card.
Oh yes, definitely. Many applications.
Really, yeah. I just like versatile cards as well. Maybe it's that. All right. Dazing.
I think it has gotten slightly worse because there's so many different planeswalkers, and one of them can protect the other.
Yeah, and some of them don't really care about
Oko.
Needle. Like Teferi and Narset, we don't really care. I mean, the activated abilities are good, don't get me wrong, but it's really about the passives.
Yes. But if you name Narset before Narset enters the battlefield, then maybe he has Teferi or Jace, and then you're...
And bounces
was a dead card.
Yeah, that's true. They have printed a lot of good planeswalkers, which do not cost 1 million mana. There's, what was it? Young Pyromancer, I think?
Yeah, he's just going to die. That is basically a concession, just putting the Young Pyromancer into play like that.
Yeah, and chat actually mentioning that you're not allowed anymore to put your lands in front of your creatures.
Ugin is 1 turn away from ultimate, I think, right?
Yes. Well, and there's a Dreadheart Arcanist.
And there will be a concession.
I hope so. Well, Ugin Ultimate is what? Draw 7 cards, put 7 permanents, gain 7 life.
Something like that.
Yeah, it's game. Beautiful. Oh no, it's actually 1-1. Sorry, I just missed that. Delver winning game 1. And did you like the draw? Did you like the 7 of the Delver player? I would have thought maybe about mulligan it. I think you really want to have Delver turn 1. And then the backups, or do you think True Name is quick enough to seal the deal?
I think True Name is very good as long as he doesn't get to activate a reactor.
Right.
But you pretty much need a way of stopping that. I think you need a force for True Name Nemesis to work.
Yeah.
But it is good. I mean, the Planeswalkers he can hardcast, it's very good against those.
For sure. No, for sure. It's also a good card, but just on the draw against this deck with no protection from Lateral Explorer, I think it's a bit maybe too slow, but it's also hard to mulligan really in Legacy sometimes.
Because I mean, if you don't know the matchup very well, and I wouldn't blame him for not knowing it because not a lot of people play Nickfit.
Yes, for sure.
The hand looks fine.
Yeah. Definitely.
The hand definitely looks fine. It's a
wasteland to
probably
lands,
above average Delver hand.
Yep.
Which is not great in this matchup.
Yeah, it's funny how some cards in certain matchups, which are in other matchups so strong, just are not reaching the point, although they seem to be good. It's a bit like with Oko, but vice versa. Like Oko, everyone said, well, yeah, it's okay. And then once you play it, you actually feel how good it is and how busted it is.
Yeah, Teferi as well.
Yes.
Teferi looked fine, Mostly because he was like, okay, it's a repeal with upside, but it's so amazing.
It's actually the upside is even more relevant than the repeal effect.
I think
Often I
it's
have
just
the feeling.
the combination and being
Yeah.
a 3-mana
Yeah,
planeswalker.
yeah.
It's like all things put together.
Yeah. Just beautiful, and
I
even
played
being a blue card.
Yeah, I played in a vintage online tournament yesterday.
Yes.
The card that won me the final deciding game against against Eldrazi was actually Teferi, because there was a Chalice on 1 and it was my only solution for
And you drew it.
And I drew it.
Beautiful. Oh, cool. Bouncer Chalice?
Yeah, but
Turn
Chalice, well,
And then.
let me start off with an egg.
Yeah. And then you went nuts. Yeah.
Yeah, then I went nuts, basically.
Nice. Very nice. Yeah, and also Teferi going through all the formats.
Yeah.
Up to vintage, as you were
Yeah.
telling. Just a really, really strong card. Alright, now this card can't be wrong for sure. Good thing about 1-1.
It could say 2-0.
True. This looks like a good hand for Delver, doesn't it?
It's mulligan to mulligan to 5 for Nick Fade, right?
Ouch.
It's looking for an explorer, I would assume.
Yes, most likely.
Is it a good hand though? There's no counter magic, right? Apart from a daze.
I thought there was a daze, yeah, but apart from that, no, I don't think so. I didn't see the full content.
It's Delver, Daze, and Wasteland, basically.
Oh, there's Wasteland through other lands, and I thought something like a Pierce or a Brainstorm. I didn't get a full. What is it? Oh no, it's just red. What is that? Alpine Moon? Is this an Alpine Moon? Maybe. I don't know.
Something moonish.
Something very reddish as well. Yeah. Would you consider bringing in Surgical Extraction? Because what I think you can do is actually with the Explorer trigger. So Explorer dies.
No, it doesn't work with the Explorer. Explorer is just a death trigger. But the Rector, you actually have to exile. At least the old one you have to. The new one, I'm not 100% sure. Let me check.
Probably two. So it goes into the graveyard, then there's a trigger on the stack, and in response to the trigger, you can Surgical it.
Yes.
Okay. But this doesn't work with Veteran Explorer because it says when Veteran Explorer dies, right?
Yeah. So Surgical
forget about that.
doesn't really do anything.
Right, and another new addition, Fiery Islet. What do you think about the new Horizon canopies in all different colors?
They're amazing, especially for Highlander, actually.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, so the card is Arena Rector, and it also reads when Arena Rector dies, you may exile it.
Okay, so you can actually interact with Surgical.
Surgical Extraction, you deny in response to the trigger, you exile it, so you can't exile it to search for a Planeswalker.
So it's kind of an activated ability and a triggered ability.
No, it's just a trigger.
Okay.
A trigger, but you need to exile it for it to resolve.
There we go. Let's see. Does he find a forest or a non-basic? It would be really bad if he does not find a forest, I think, because there is a wasteland. Let's see. Doesn't have to be afraid of days, though. Fiery Islet.
Wait, did you keep a hand without an island in the days?
Yeah, I think. I think there's a mountain and a wasteland.
Wow, that is so dangerous.
It is. Is there a fetch land?
If Veteran Explorer sticks now?
Yes, good night. No, well, not good night, but it's gonna be good.
Yes, good night.
Very mucho good night.
Very mucho.
No, it's a therapy, and he didn't go for the forest. So the wasteland is turned on. You would be naming Brainstorm as always.
Yeah. It depends a little bit on the hand. Some hands want to name Force of Will, but
Sure.
in most cases.
Oh, it is a Blood Moon. It is a Blood Moon. Do you think he brought it in on the play only? Would you consider it even on the play? On the draw, certainly not, I think. But on the play, would you consider bringing it in? I don't
think so.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a shaky hand from Delver.
Agree. There's not even a cantrip to I mean, he can still draw it, of course, but to fetch or to use with a Dreadhorde Arcanist.
Yeah.
So Dreadhorde Arcanist is just a 3/1.
That is a good draw.
Yeah. He definitely wants an island for 2 reasons.
Apparently, you're having some fans on Twitch.
Thanks there, all Heady Bear. Awesome. Yeah, keep watching, spread the news. Swiss Magic Masters now on Twitch TV/AudibleMagic. Tune in for some legacy action and come here and play next year. There probably will be the same event again, and you can play anything. Tiny leaders, well, apart from Commander thing. Tiny leaders, modern, legacy standards, limited. Yep, lots of things.
Yeah, and shout out as well to our lovely casting team supporting us.
Yes.
You don't actually get to see them, but they did a great job setting up the stream and the overlay, and there's tons of people working to
make this all happen.
Yes.
and going on, yeah. And the guys from AudibleMagic really doing a great job organizing this. It has been the biggest tournament in Switzerland the last 2 years, I think. And if it keeps on like this, it will be growing and growing.
Mm.
Oh, did you see that Chalice of the Void? Would you? Why? Huh?
I mean,
would you board in? Okay. I mean, it's a good card against Delver. I get it, but
well,
but interesting. He takes the days. He doesn't care about the Arcanist.
apparently he doesn't care about Blood Moon either.
No. Question is why?
That's so weird.
Because you cannot see it for an explorer. Well, he wasn't a multi-5, right? So it's a bit
Yeah.
iffy, maybe the hand. But now you have to fetch what? Forest? I think so, right? And then next turn you can. Well, yeah, you don't care about the Blood Moon. You just fetch a forest. Next turn you can Zenith for the explorer and then flashback.
Exactly.
And start going nuts.
That is the plan. And he also has 2 Cabal therapies, so if he uses one for the Veteran Explorer, he still has one for the Arena Rector, and he doesn't care too much about Blood Moon disabling his Rexen Tower.
No. No, not at all. And the mana problem is solved with Explorer, so it's interesting. Let's see if he even casts the Blood Moon. He could also just crack the Fiery Islet end of turn, which he doesn't decide to do. That was probably the best draw in the deck.
Yeah, as usual.
Well, not always, no, but...
Well, not if there's a Chalice at 1.
No, but also in other moments, you don't always have to fire off your brainstorms. Sometimes it's just way better to wait and just do stuff.
He's going for Blood Moon, wow. That is so crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I think Blood Moon does nothing at this point.
No, literally.
Because he has no way of shutting down a Veteran Explorer from hitting the battlefield.
Yes.
He has a Zenith, which I think I saw one, right?
Yes. And he finds a true name now. He cannot cast it.
Yeah,
he shuts off his Fiery Islet.
His brainstorm just got a lot worse.
Yes.
I disagree with the Blood Moon.
I would, yeah, me too. I would have brainstormed, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe really even end of turn crack the Fiery Islet, and just because you have the mountain, and then just go Dreadhorde Arcanist, go. Maybe try to find something interactive. All right, let's find out. Might be scared of a daze, but you cannot afford to play around it here.
No, and he knows his hand.
Yeah, but he drew a card, right?
No, he drew the brainstorm.
Yes, but the Nickfit player doesn't know that.
Yeah,
he reused it to that.
He knows his
Yeah,
hand, exactly.
You're 100% right. You are 100% right. Yep, there we go. Flash is back.
So the way this works is Veteran Explorer resolves the trigger of Veteran Explorer results before Cabal Therapy. So Jerome can actually respond to Cabal Therapy with the Brainstorm.
And there's also someone gets to search first usually. Is that
With Explorer?
Yeah, I always thought. I mean, it all resolves it resolves basically at the same time, but you have to search first as the active player, if I'm not mistaken.
So, yes.
And he's
but
playing.
But they definitely enter all at the same time.
Yeah, wished I had a fiery islet now. Sorry.
Yeah. It's weird that he didn't get an island though. Maybe he has some green spells he wants to cast.
We'll find out.
Yeah. Seems weird though. What is the top card? Is that Veil of Summer?
Yeah. Doesn't do anything here.
No, just cantrips.
Well, Arcanist on top, Brainstorm beneath. What would you do?
I think Brainstorm on top and Arcanist underneath.
Okay.
It's keeping the Brainstorm. Because there is another Cabal Therapy in the graveyard.
That's true. But no more
That makes sense to me.
Wonder what he named.
I think I would have named Brainstorm, actually.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, he's certainly not keeping the Arcanist, right? Or maybe these are some next level mind games with therapy sometimes, but
these are actually standard mind games.
There's a lot more to it. Yeah, that's true.
But I would definitely not name. It depends. So apparently he has a plan how to.
So what? How to handle the chalice?
No. I think Henning is just baiting the days at this point. Because he doesn't really want to shut it down because the Cabal Therapy is always still valuable in the graveyard.
Yeah. He still gets to cat, like the value is sacrificing a creature for him, no? Which he can do
part
with
of
the
the
chalice.
value, yes. But he also has Veil of Summer in his hand.
That's true.
I think his play is actually
maybe he was hoping for a force. Sorry.
With a Veil of Summer.
Back up.
Yeah. So the Chalice of the Void doesn't survive the deed in any case.
True. What he had to play from Henning. Very heads up play.
Yeah, I still would have gotten the plains though instead of the forest.
Ooh, there's a turn.
Because an arena reactor from the top would immediately
he doesn't have any white.
Of the game. Yeah, exactly. That's what I said.
Oh, sorry.
He should have gotten the plains instead of the forest. Because I was just using the lens to cast Chalice of the Void anyways.
Interesting. Why didn't he? Do you think there's any double colored spell he wants to? I mean, he had enough green.
He just wanted Veil of Summer.
Yeah.
For some reason.
I agree.
I don't understand.
Oh.
So
there's a deed.
This deed is trading 4-1 at the current state.
Yes, and the Wasteland a bit late. That would have been good. Ah, no,
Wasteland
it's not good at all. I already forgot about the blood.
The only upside of Pernicious Deed being cracked is that Fiery Islet and these basics, his fetchlands get turned on again. That's what I'm saying. Blood Moon at some point it damages you more than the Nickwood player.
I think you see this a lot with the card Blood Moon that it gets brought in sometimes and played in moments where it's actually not that good. And then hurts yourself more. I
think that was also a psychological effect of, losing game 2 to the Phyrexian Tower from the top.
Yeah.
Because he probably didn't have it for game 2 and
That's a terrible brainstorm.
Boarded it in for Phyrexian Tower solely.
Yeah. He was on the play as well, to be fair. Like, sometimes this makes a difference as well in boarding and development. But
Does.
I agree, it's not
In
the
this
matchup.
Turn 3 is too late still.
And that's also why he got the second forest, that he could have kept up Well of Summer, right? But you mentioned that before. A mountain.
A plains, actually. Very soon.
Hopefully.
I'm pretty sure Delver does not play Stifle. So.
That's, yeah, I was just thinking. Stifle could be pretty good here.
I think he's doing a mistake at tapping the Windswept Thief to crack the Pernicious Steed. Because now Wasteland can shut down his white mana again.
Sure, but do you want to go to 3 against the blue-red Delver deck? I think he's on 4, so fetching is not really enough. Or, I mean, I don't know, maybe it's too late to play around the bolt, but...
No, it's too late. He definitely has to get the Planeswalker.
Okay.
Like, Arena Rector is still the way to go.
And nevertheless, he is probably going to lose this game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Does Liliana gain life as well?
No. Not at all, I think. Interesting. Oh, yeah. Well, that's why Blue-Red Delver is very good as well. It just closes out with bolts and like turtling around. If you wouldn't be playing bolts, there would be another turn, and Nickfit could maybe draw out of it, but he goes to 3, gets the Arbor, and he shows him a Chain Lightning, and that's it.
Wow.
GG.